Greetings to everyone. My name is Samuel Mbugwa, and I'm the one who will be taking you through this unit, Monetary Theory and Practice. And monetary theory and practice deals with the theoretical and practical framework of the economy. So I'll say it's a descriptive economic theory that details the procedure and consequences of using government-issued tokens, or what we call fiat money. So we could say in modern monetary theory, governments with power to issue their own currency are always solvent. They'll be always liquid and can afford to buy anything for sale in their domestic unit of account, even though they may face what we call the inflationary and political constraints. And that's why we have the monetary and fiscal policies that try to regulate this in what we call the capitalistic government. So I want to go immediately to our lecture today. And welcome to the first lecture, which is the introduction of money, introduction of monetary theory and practice. And basically we are talking about money. Monetary is money. So this lecture will cover, as highlighted, it will cover the definition of money, how money evolved, the features or qualities or characteristics of good money, functions of money in different economic systems as we go on. So that is what we'll be able to cover in this particular area. So by definition, we all know we have different names for money. Some people will call it pesa, ganji, mkwanja, mula, etc. But our working definition will be or is money is a commodity which is universally accepted in exchange of all other commodities with no intention on the part of the receiver of using it in part of the receive of using it in any other way than to effect further exchanges. So it is highly controlled. And for the government or for any economy to be stable, money should be a commodity that facilitates exchanges of commodities. We say money is a medium of exchange, and it is issued by the government or other public authorities in form of either coins. Some economies will use gold, others silver, others metal, others will use the paper money or what we call fiat money as a measure of value of goods and services. So basically, by definition, we've said that it is a commodity that is universally accepted in exchange of all other commodities. You could forget everything else, but don't forget that. Now, this thing we are calling money has evolved over time. And it started long time ago, even before we were born. So we are talking of before Christ. If you recall, when Christ was born, the shepherds or the herdsmen had to take some gifts. They had to take some valuables. And I don't want to delve much into what is in the Bible. Now, in the society or in the traditional society or in the people way of life, we used to have barter trade where commodities were exchanged for commodities. We are talking of the evolution of money. So barter trade is where it started. where, let's say, one goat could be exchanged for a sack of maize. With the time, some commodities were identified by communities and they were used as a medium of exchange. For example, Maasais could use beads, hides, and skins. We had the coast people used to use the cowrie shells or the shells that they do collect at the beach. We had the farming communities using tobacco, using grains or cereals, for example, beans, maize, wheat, etc., etc. So those identified commodities functioned as basic money. So to serve as money, the conditions needed was the item or the commodity should be easily verifiable. I don't want to talk about transportable, but you can imagine if a goat could be exchanged with a sack of maize, and let's say we have Kamba people used to do what we call long distance trading. So you can imagine someone has come all the way from Kitui, they are somewhere in Rift Valley, let's say Kitale, Eldoret, or Nakuru, and they've exchanged a goat with a sack of maize. So you can imagine the scenario. So the reason why we were using items like beads, hides and skins, and tobacco, or the cowrie shell, it is because it was easily transportable. It would also be divisible and was easier to store. So by and by, now all people stopped using commodity money. Although depending on the development, we had the now invention of metallic money or real money. Metallic money is real money. So commodity money posed the challenge of being bulky and inconvenient, and also the unstable value, and some items were perishable. You can imagine if you exchanged the goat, let's say with a crate of tomatoes. By the time you are moving from one place to the other, could be the tomatoes will have lost value because they are perishable goods. And therefore, this could no longer serve a standardized medium of exchange. So communities identified metals such as bronze, we had copper, silver, gold, etc., which act as money. And this came to be known as metallic money. If you recall, I don't know whether you've ever seen what you used to call the heller, some metallic coins that had a hole in the middle. Maybe the hole was for safety, so that you can adjoin several coins with a wire or iron to avoid losing them. So metals were not easily available also. So coins minted were fully bodied. So we had the monetary value of the metal could be equated to the commercial value of the material that it is made. So we could say that this metallic or the real money, the metallic money, had an intrinsic value. Now, by and by, people started using what we call coinage money or coins. So as the trade evolved, metallic money became more refined as metals were minted into appropriate sizes and quantities. And therefore, coins could act as a standard medium of exchange. So coins, we know, are portable, they are divisible. You can get a coin of 5 shillings, 10 shillings. We had 1 shilling earlier that lost value. So they are mintable and their value does not fluctuate considerably. Owing to high demand, metals became rare to obtain, and that's why we introduced, or there was introduced, the coinage money. So the weight of value was guaranteed by a competent authority, or what we could call government. And then we had the invention. After the coinage money, we had the paper money, and this is how they came into being. receipts could be given out by goldsmiths to merchants and others who deposited their gold or other valuable metals for safe custody. And therefore, these receipts now acted as paper money, where the holder of such receipts acted as I owe you. You get? So the receipt was an indication of I owe you. And these receipt holders would make payment by signing the receipts at the back. So the holder would present the receipt to a goldsmith if he wanted the gold back or the valuable metal back. So the receipts became banknotes with the time as people showed confidence in them. As first-time banknotes, or we could say receipts, were not considered as money, so, but they acted simply as an acknowledgement of a banker's debt. So you bring your receipt, signed at the back to show ownership in exchange of the items that were stored in the custody. That is the valuable metals or gold, if we may say. As time went by, paper money became popular as more and more people were willing to accept it. Even if it could not be converted into gold or silver. This is the origin of the banking principle, which is still in effect today. We have the paper money, which is referred as legal tender, or the currency notes and coins that are accepted for the printed face value because of the law. And this is how we started using what we call the currency notes or fiat money, F-I-A-T, fiat money, right? Then by and by, the legal tenders, now let me bring you closer. A building at Upper Hill, not even building, 1 acre of land at Upper Hill goes for a staggering 800 million. Imagine if you are to buy that piece of land and you are meeting the owner. I want you to imagine the 800 million figure. It is not easily transportable, isn't it? So we are again getting back to the issue of barter trade, where it was very difficult to transport a sack of maize. Of course, it was exchanged with a goat which could walk by itself. Are you getting the scenario? So the legal tender, which is referred to as the fiat money, are acceptable because they are of their printed face value, and they are regulated by the government of the day. So the legal tender is somehow inconvenient and bulky to carry. So to use where it's not easy to use where large transactions are involved. And I've given an example of if you wanted to buy an acre of land in Upper Hill. It is 800 million, is very bulky. So this led to the development of other forms of paper money. And this is what brought into being what we call the representative money or the credit money. So the legal tender, being inconvenient and bulky to carry or use where the large transactions are involved, it led to the development of other forms of paper that could perform the functions of the currency money. Yeah, for example, checks, promissory notes. We have plastic money, or what you call the credit cards. So I'm trying to say that we evolved now from the fiat money, and we have what we are calling the plastic money or paper money, or what we are calling the representative money. For example, if you wanted to, let's say, if you wanted to transact the example that I had given on the Upper Hill land, You just need to meet the owner, agree. You'll be given the papers, of course, to do your due diligence. And then after doing the due diligence and maybe involving a lawyer in the transaction, just as part of due diligence, you enter into an agreement. That's why you are bringing the lawyer on board. From there, you just need to walk to the bank and transact. So you're going to exchange or even draw a check to the owner of the land. They'll go deposit the check in the account and money will be transferred from your account to the account. You can see how easily representative money can be used. It is safe, it is secure, and there is no pain of trying to carry this bulk money. You remember when we had the NYS scandal and Kabura was trying to explain how she could carry money in paper bags and ferry them out to the people whom they were transacting with. The court couldn't believe. You remember there was also issue of the judge who was to receive some 200 million shillings somewhere in a petrol station at Waroko on your way to Kangemi. You recall? And we had the media even trying to arrange and get the dimensions of the note to see whether they can fit in a briefcase. I don't need to delve much into that. Then from the representative money or the credit money, money has really evolved. Right now we have what we call cryptocurrency. And cryptocurrency is digital currency. We are calling it the fifth evolution of money, where you just get into your system. You have your money, of course, safely stored in the account. But if you want this money to transact, you buy the digital currency or the cryptocurrency, the digital assets, right? So the crypto. So you need to open an escrow account and you can trade anywhere. Of course, the unifying factor is that the digital assets are valued in dollar, which is an universally accepted mode of currency or mode of transaction. And one, for example, if I take an example of a Bitcoin, Bitcoins will be floated in the market. Of course, having an escrow account, you can easily buy. And the good thing is you can buy the fraction of a Bitcoin. You don't need to buy the entire Bitcoin. And Bitcoin could cost a lot of money. It is a staggering, I think 9 million or something. So even with 100,000, you can go and get a portion of that money. But be informed. You have to be very sure that you are trading with the legal companies. I've seen people opening the pseudo accounts. They come up with a digital asset. And at the end of the day, if you don't take necessary measures, you may end up losing your hard-earned investment or cash. Then from there, we go to the functions of money. And this one, I know you might have come across them at one point in time. The first one is medium of exchange. So individuals sell their goods or services for money. And later on, they use this money to buy or to process more goods and services. So this allows the seller of the goods or the consultant who is giving the service now it allows the seller to sell the goods in unfinished state and the buyer to make what we call the fractional purchases, right? Then we have money as a unit of account. Now, the monetary unit of account is used to measure the value of goods and services in the economy. And accounts are kept. So money is thus used as a yardstick that allows the individual to measure the relative value of goods and services. So the issue of money as a unit of account has greatly reduced transaction cost to the time, effort, and expenses that go into the purchase of or the sale of goods or the service. So money is a unit of account. Then money is a measure of value. The prices of different goods are indicated in terms of money. So it is easy to compare the relative values of commodity, which are dissimilar and entirely different from one another. So the values are in proportion to their respective prices. So you can say money is a measure of value. Again, money is a store of value because money enables one to keep portion of his or her assets in liquid form and can use this money when the need arises. So an individual can save some part of their income now or during young age, like you people, and use it during their older age. Therefore, money helps individuals to keep some money into reserves for future transactions. Then you can say money is a standard of deferred payment because money is used to make future credit transactions. So it makes borrowing and lending less risky by acting as a standard measure of payment over time. Then money is used to transfer immovable property. An owner of a house or a land, for instance, can sell the house or the land from one geographical location and buy another house in another location. So it becomes easier transferring the value of the house, though we know the house is immovable or the land is immovable. Then we have the qualities, or rather the characteristics of good money. So to adequately perform the above functions, money must possess some qualities. The first of them is scarcity. So money need not have any intrinsic value. And by this I mean, should be useful as a commodity, but must be scarce. That is, to acquire money, there needs to be some opportunity cost. Yeah. So the scarcity of money contributes to the stability of the value of money. And we'll be coming that later when we'll be looking at the inflation and deflation. Then the next characteristic is stability of value. Money should be stable in value for it to be used as a standard to measure the value of all other commodities. You recall what happened in Zimbabwe when the former president printed a lot of notes, thinking that distributing or having a lot of money in circulation would stabilize the economy. Of course, you were in the same panorama when we printed a lot of 500 notes during the Moi era. And could be this is what is until now hitting us. Yeah, because what happens is if money or if the currency is not regulated and you have the stable currency, which is the dollar, of course, it devalues your money. Then the third characteristic or quality is durability. For money to act as a store of value, it must last for a long time. I heard the other day Dr. Njoroge, the governor of Central Bank, is saying that people are misusing the notes and it is taking them a lot of resources to print or to replace the torn or the old notes. And he was trying to advise people to store money in a manner. Have you ever seen an old dollar? Of course, we are Africans and Africa is our business. So we don't care very much. So you'll see a Mama Mboga folding the 50 note, the 50 shillings note in a very funny manner, and even where they are stored under the, you know where they are stored. To really, so I'm trying to say money should be durable, shouldn't be easily defaced. If you give a conductor old money or torn notes, they might refuse it. So many people will now start seeing as if that money doesn't have the value that should be having. I haven't seen old 1,000 shillings, so I don't know whether it is because the 50 shillings note is of a lesser value or something. Then the other quality of money is, either way, I've said money should be durable and kept in a manner that they are not defaced or they will wither away. So keep your money safe. Let your money look neat. I've seen many times ladies trying to exchange the old notes with the newer ones for their wallet. Value that note because it is durable, it is scarce, and it is a measure of value. Then portability. Money should be easily transportable from one place to another without depreciation. So it should have a large value in small bag so that it is convenient to carry. Now, what normally happens is, now money should be divisible, of course, so that you are able to buy, or I'll be coming to the number 7, divisibility. Should be divisible in small amounts, but we are also saying for portability purposes, it should have a large value in small bag for easier or for convenience to carry. You know, in Kenya, we had the 1,000 shilling, the 1 million ceiling law, where you cannot hold or carry, you're not supposed to be having more than 1 million on transit. Either way, so you can imagine there was a time Babu Owino was going for a meeting, I think somewhere in Kisumu, and he was caught with some 10 millions in. So you can imagine carrying 10 millions. That's a lot of money, isn't it? You may end up even risking your life. So there's a reason why the government regulated that you shouldn't be holding more than 1 million on transit. Reason being, of course, we had the issues of the, wash, the anti-money laundering, terrorism financing, etc. The reason why the government brought this into being, and the reason why they even, you remember the demonetization of the 1,000 shillings note. It is because most people are keeping their money in other safe custodies, not in the bank, and the government could not easily account for the money that is in circulation in the economy. And we know most of this money, there is a way that they could easily now bring this money into circulation and make it legal money. You get? So the reason why government brought the regulation is to easily account for the money that is in supply. I know we haven't been able to collect all the money that is illegally in supply because a lot of money was not accounted back actually during the demonetization of the 1,000 shilling note. In other words, I'm trying to say money should be in a manner that is not bulky and therefore it is convenient to carry. The reason why we came to fiat money and stopped using the coins or the metallic radicals and the barter trade. Then we have homogeneity, should be homogeneous. You say that the homogeneous currency in the world is not the homogeneous, the stable currency, or the currency that is acceptable anywhere in the world is the dollar. So for money to act as a unit of account, different units of money, material should have the same value. It beats logic when you go for, let's say you go in a supermarket, a 2 kg ugali flour goes for, let's say, roughly 130 shillings, 130 shillings. Then all of a sudden, there is a brand that is selling now leave the hostess alone, they are trying to brand it for the upper strata. Now we are talking of the normal unga flour. If you get that unga flour retailing at 250, And you all know that it's supposed to be retailing at around 130 to 140 shillings. Now, the material should be having informed quality and standardization, or to be capable of standardization should be homogeneous. Are you getting? So money is supposed to have that value or that quality of homogeneity. Then acceptability, for money to act as a medium of exchange, or for money to act as a medium of exchange, in exchange of all goods and services, it must be acceptable to all without hesitation. Are we there? Then divisibility, money must be divisible into smaller units. I had explained that. Then cognoscibility, money should be easily recognized by those using it to affect the exchanges, should be easily recognized. For example, if you give someone the 1,000 shillings, you've seen even the exact quality that has been given to the new money. And one of the quality is even the blind or the deaf could easily touch and tell the value. So by cognoscibility, I mean money should be easily recognized. So we should be having several 1,000 notes. We have the universal, we have the US dollar. Should be universal. I remember there was a time that America demonetized the dollar in Korea because it had become so easily, it could be easily imitated. So what happened? They demonetized all the dollars that were in circulation and they recalled all the, you see, once you demonetize, it becomes useless. Like the old 1,000 shillings, even if you have 1 million of them, they are valueless. Then malleability. Now, money should be capable of being molded into given or the required shapes. Of course, you know that this is a regulation. Of course, before you print any money, should be regulated. And we know the Central Bank of Kenya is in charge of doing that. So money should be malleable. Then we have the role of money in different economic systems. Now we have different economic systems. For example, the capitalist economy, it recognizes the right of individual property. In other words, you have the right to own a property. It's willing buyer, willing seller. So the owner of the property in a capitalistic economy can use his property according to their own choice. So you can sell it according to the prevailing market value, the willing buyer, willing seller. Therefore, the money in a capitalistic economy, because the consumer, the assumption is we have what we call the consumer sovereignty. So consumers can make rational choice of goods on what they want to buy. Then production decisions are based on money. We have the different facets of the economy or the chain of distribution. So the wholesalers know what they can produce for retailers, retailers what they can sell to the consumers. So production decisions are based on money. Then money simplifies the distribution system. So the wholesaler can sell a bread at 30 shillings to the retailer who sells to the consumer at 50 shillings. And then they make the profit of 50 shillings. So decision regarding savings and spending is on individual. And the price mechanism regulates the flow of investment in a capitalist economy. Are we there? So price is naturally guided by the price mechanism. So before taking up an economic activity, a businessman or an individual considers the cost, prices, and the rate of profit that they are looking into. Then money is the basis of credit. So go to the bank, you are given your money, you go utilize, invest, name it, and then of course the bank will earn interest, and in return you'll enjoy the privilege to use the money, right? Then you go to the socialistic economy, and all economic activities in this kind of an economy are planned or controlled by the government. is socialism. Yeah, all its agencies. So there is no free market and there is no right of property to individuals. Now, do you think money has a role to play in such an economy, the socialistic economy? Now, Marx believed that money is the root cause of exploitation of labor by capitalists. So socialists can work without money because in this case, goods are exchanged for goods. You work for the government gives you money. No, it gives you food, gives you good education, healthcare, etc. We have another guy, economist, Leon, who realized that without a firm monetary unit, commercial accounting only increases chaos. So all commercial transactions are carried on in money, though money occupies an inferior and subordinate position in the socialistic economy. So in other words, you are saying even in a socialistic economy, it cannot work without money. Therefore, money is a guide to economic activities, the allocation of resources, and also the distribution of income. For example, those people who will be working in the medical centers or healthcare givers, they don't wish to be paid as those people who will be working in a mining quarry. Are you getting? So we need money to be a measure of value and for the distribution of income. And then last but not least, we have the planned economy. And the planned economy is generally followed in underdeveloped countries where there is no shortage of real or natural resources. So the need is only to tap those resources in a planned manner, and the state takes the responsibility for the development of these dormant resources, of course, through the agencies or private enterprises, but under the guidance of the government. So the development of the economy needs, or tapping of natural resources needs monetary resources, which are in plenty, and the government has to provide to activate the real resources. Are we there? So the government of such a country taps all the possible sources of monetary resources to carry out the development plans. So the government in a planned economy controls everything, imports, exports, internal transactions, etc., to ensure that the economy is balanced. So money plays an important role also in a planned economy. Any question? Any question? So if we don't have any question, allow me to end the class at this point, but we'll go to the portal and respond to the quiz and the discussion forum. Thank you.